valuable property. We are in a season when we all need to come together and agree to have peace. Peace comes from God, but peace also comes to men and women who say to themselves, we believe in a country, we believe in one another, we believe that we can live together, irrespective of our tribes, irrespective of our religion.
It's for all of us now to wake up, tighten our belts more, push insecurity out of the lives of our people, and have a very stable, free, and developed society where everybody will know that yes, I'm free to live my life.
One nation bound in freedom.
Good afternoon. You are on NTA Nationwide At. Johnson. Thanks for joining us. Today is Arafat Day. About 2 million Muslim pilgrims from across the globe have converged on the plain of Arafat in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia to commemorate. Correspondent Aliu Kabir, who is in Saudi Arabia, reports that about 76,000 Nigerians who are currently at Arafat ground reaffirm their commitment to use the occasion to pray for peace, unity, and indivisibility of the country. Details of these and other activities of Arafat will come your way in our subsequent bulletin. Meanwhile, the need for global peace and for the Muslims to live according to the tenet of Islam was the focus of this year's Arafat Day sermon by Chief Imam of Saudi Arabia, Imam Abdulaziz bin Abdallah. Musa Babaliu has more.
Over 3 million Muslims from all over the world converged on the Mount of Arafat to mark this year's Arafat Day. As it is in the scripture, pilgrims spend half of the day praying and praising their Creator according to Islamic injunctions. Chief Imam of Saudi Arabia, Sheikh Abdulaziz bin Abdallah, urged Muslims to be at the vanguard of global peace and shun violence. The Chief Imam therefore appealed to parents to ensure proper upbringing of their children according to Islamic teachings. Sermon prayers were observed for global peace and unity. In Abuja, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
Also, the message of peace, love, and unity among Nigerians is the focus of the Friday sermon as Muslims prepare to mark the Eid al-Kabir celebration. Let's join Aliu Tukur for details.
The sermon, which focused on Saturday's Eid al-Kabir celebrations, urged Muslims faithful to emulate the spirit of sacrifice and obedience. Prophet Abraham when he was asked to sacrifice his son. The chief imam of Area 8 Mosque, Ustaz Abdul Mumin Ilyas, who called on Muslims to desist from vices such as drinking intoxicants, fornication and stealing, among others, in the name of the celebrations.
And as a Muslim, you should be also happy that you are alive, you are not sick. That is why people say health is wealth. So if you are healthy, you are wealthy. So for that, God may test you that you don't have money to buy a new cloth, or you don't have money to buy a ram. Even sometimes the food itself is even very, very difficult. So for that, in all ramifications, you should be thanking Allah, appreciating the little that Allah has bestowed on you.
The congregation prayed for an end to the security challenge and the unity of the country. In Abuja, Aliu Tukur, NTA News.
President Goodluck Jonathan has assured the international community that Nigeria will remain politically stable and united after the 2015 general elections. The president gave the assurance at the separate audience with the new ambassadors of Spain, Finland, Ireland, and Ghana, who presented their letters of credence to him at the presidential villa. State House correspondent Shegun Lawole reports.
Jonathan, while receiving letters of credence from the new ambassadors, reiterated his administration's commitment to ensuring that the 2015 elections are free, fair, and credible as they can possibly be, as he recalled international commendations received by the country for the conduct of the 2011 general elections. President Jonathan urged the new ambassadors of Spain, Finland, Ireland, and Ghana to strive to further enhance trade and economic relations between Nigeria and their respective countries. The new ambassadors promised to do their utmost best to strengthen bilateral relations between their countries and Nigeria during their tenure in Abuja, as they thanked the president for the reception. President Jonathan also presided over the Security Council meeting for update on the ongoing efforts of the federal government to end insurgent attacks in the country. The meeting enables members of the Security Council to deliberate on a regular basis and review the operations of the various security outfits in the country. In the State House, Segun Lawole, NTA News.
In another development, a non-governmental organization, the Progressive Friends Foundation, has declared support for President Goodluck Jonathan to contest the 2015 presidential election. The members of the organization have also inducted the First Lady, Dame Patience Jonathan, as the Grand Patron. State House correspondent Maku Samu Macham has more.
The Progressive Friends Foundation is a non-governmental organization comprising of members from different backgrounds across the nation. Their objective is to build friendship, advocate for and support development and democracy through good governance. According to its chairman, Aseminaso Ningerafaka, the organization has watched with keen interest the achievements of President Goodluck Jonathan in transforming Nigeria and enhancing democracy in the country. Hence, it's resolved to support him to contest the 2015 general elections.
And so when we extract what the President of Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan is doing, we decided that we give him our hand as friends. For now, the President and the PDP is where we have seen good governance.
The organization then inducted First Lady Dame Patience Jonathan as its Grand Patron, stating that she has done so much for Nigerian women, children, and the underprivileged in every opportunity available.
Again, urge you to continue to be the pillar of support that you are. You have a lot to learn from the humanity and godly nature of our dear President, Dr. Goodluck Jonathan. Let us all add our voices to the passionate call for peace in our world, because there can be no development where there is no peace.
In Abuja, I am Makut Simon Macham, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the First Lady, Dame Patience Jonathan, has donated 2 buses each to the National Association of Nigerian Students and the Igbo youths in line with her earlier promise to the 2 bodies. Let's join Maku Simon Macham again.
Ever since the first constitution was promulgated in 1922 by Sir Clifford, Nigeria has witnessed incessant clamor for one form of constitution or the other. This is attributable to the failure of the supreme laws to address the critical issues plaguing the nation. The 1999 constitution, which has been guiding the conduct of public affairs and shaping the political landscape since the rebirth of democracy, is not different.
You can never have a perfect constitution.
As we implement the elements of the Constitution, we see a few kinks that need to be improved.
Although successive Nigerian legislatures had found it difficult to amend the ground norm for 50 years, the 6th National Assembly broke the jinx in 2010 by amending the nation's code book 3 times, in which 37 provisions were tinkered with.
We have voted in what we believe, and we voted for those issues that we think will ensure that democracy continues to mature and that democracy takes a firm root in this country.
Apart from enhancing equity, inclusiveness, and good governance, that remarkable achievement by the lawmakers also accounted for the successful conduct of the 2011 elections, globally acclaimed as the most credible so far.
In spite of the impurities or the imperfections of the present constitution, I think there is enough in it to safeguard and protect the interest of everybody.
At the moment, the lawmakers are in the process of amending the constitution for the 4th time, in which 34 provisions are being reviewed.
On citizenship and gender equity, my people say yes. If we remove this amenity clause, there will be destruction of governance.
We must be more interested in establishing and strengthening our institutions.
We need to amend ourselves more than we are amending the Constitution.
I hope that politicians should do everything possible to support the amendments, to support the constitutional provisions and the electoral acts provisions in such a manner that Nigerians are on board democratic processes.
We believe that at the level of our development, what we have now, after this fourth amendment, will be good enough for us also to ensure that the system is working.
We want to hand over to our children a banner without stain.
With the successful conduct of the National Conference convened by the President, expectations are that its resolutions will be forwarded to the National Assembly for further legislative action and possible legal backing to meet other genuine national aspirations. In Abuja, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
And that was a special report on the role of legislature in Nigeria's constitutional development by Adamu Sambo. Our first stop now is Lagos, where Vera is standing by with reports on the Nigeria Civil Security and Civil Defense Corps and among other stories. Vera, take it away.
Thank you, Femi. Good evening and welcome to Lagos. A batch of 59 armed squad equipped professionally to tackle Nigeria's security challenges has completed its training program. The Commandant General of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, Ade Abolore, who was represented at the ceremony in Badagry, Lagos State, church officials to fulfill their core mandate. Abolore Agbara reports.
The passing out parade brought together heads of military and paramilitary organizations, officers and men of the Nigeria Security and Defense Corps, other heads of security agencies and members of public witnessed the graduation ceremony. The officers who went through 30 days of hard work acquired different skills. The review officer, Commandant Donatus Ikemefuna, who inspected the guards, said the officers and men of the Corps have been effectively trained and are now knowledgeable and professional officers. He urged them to put what they have learned to practice.
This occasion is going on simultaneously with all other commands across, the country. We are saying that you need training, to be on top of the situation in terms of security services.
The highlight of the day was the presentation of certificates and awards to the officers. The organization says the training of officers and men will fulfill the core mandate in the protection of government assets, critical infrastructure, anti-vandalism drive, and the need to partner with other agencies in fighting violent crimes, as well as maintaining peace and order in the country. In Lagos, Abolore Agbara, NTA News.
The Nigerian Police Ogun State Command has paraded 42 suspects arrested for various crimes in the state. The Commissioner of Police, Ikemefuna Okoye, made this known at a press briefing held at the force headquarters at Abeokuta. Kemi Oronu Seriki was there and now completes the report.
The suspects were arrested for different crimes, ranging from rape, robbery, cultism, kidnapping, and attempted murder. 3 men were arrested for attempted murder of one Ahmed Giwa Isiaka, who beat him to a state of coma and also hit him on the head with a grounding stone. One suspect, Kayode Akoni, was apprehended for defiling a 3-year-old girl. The suspect confessed to the crime but claimed that it happened under the influence of alcohol. 2 other suspects were also arrested for armed robbery. Sadiq Ashimiu and Tunde Egunjobi were said to have robbed one Reverend Franklin Unwozu and his family of their belongings and also made an attempt to defile his daughter. Another set of students suspected to be cultists were arrested at their initiating party at Boliv Hotel, Obantoko. The Commissioner of Police, Ogun State Command, said properties worth 11 million naira were recovered from the suspect in Abeokuta. Kemi Orunsholu Sikiru, NTA News.
Tributes have continued to pour in for the late former managing director of the News Agency of Nigeria, Oluremi Oyo. Many people have continued to pay condolence visits to her Lagos residence. In this report, Thomas Ogbetere collects tributes to the veteran journalist.
The one-time chief press secretary to the former president, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, Mrs. Oluremi Oyo, died on the 1st of October in London Hospital after a battle with cancer. She was to clock 62 on the 12th of this month. Sympathizers from different parts of the country stormed her Ijegun residence to condole her family over the loss.
She was a great woman, good wife.
Mrs. Remi Oyo was a great woman, very thorough, very disciplined, very hardworking.
And even up till last month, the text is still on my phone. When I heard the rumor of her death, I quickly sent her a text, "Auntie, please, what is happening?" You know, I didn't even know that she wrote me that she was fine from the hospital bed.
It's an embodiment of good things of life.
The widower, Mr. Vincent Oyo, could not hide his feelings.
She's been my wife for 37 years. She distinguished herself exceedingly well.
The mood at St. Joaquin and Aunt Catholic Church, Ijegun, where she was a member, was pensive.
She was a very committed parishioner, and she did her best.
The family planned to organize the burial within 30 days. In Lagos, Thomas Ogbetere, NTA News.
That report wraps up our contribution from Lagos. Femi, it's back to you for more on Nationwide News.
Thank you, Vera. And now to some other stories on health. The provision of accessible and affordable health care services on a sustainable basis in any country is an important obligation of government and the fundamental rights of the citizens as the nation turns 54. The successes recorded in containing the deadly Ebola virus disease, which claimed the lives of 8 persons in Nigeria, is also no doubt a significant reference point in evaluating the health sector. Health correspondent Rabi Abdallah takes it up from there.
The years has tried and is still trying to meet the World Health Organization objective of attaining better health for all and promote health, human dignity and enhance quality of life. Despite all efforts by the Nigerian government in meeting this goal, increased number of disease burden, outbreaks, maternal and infant mortality is being recorded in rural communities where the primary health care centers ought to function effectively.
Let me tell you that we have 215 primary health care centers, for example, in FCT, but we have only 12 general hospitals and 2 teaching hospitals in Abuja. You can see the disparity. While the general hospital and the teaching hospital are working to the maximum capacity, while the primary health care center is at the mercy of the local government.
Perhaps one of the steps to reverse the trend by Nigeria is giving greater consideration to primary health care when making health policies. Though these facilities to some extent have been serving, but on visiting Karu and Garki primary health care centers in the FCT, some of the users believe government has to do more, such as expanding the facilities to accommodate more patients, as well as provide essential drugs.
Yes, we know that the government is going to give us, but sometimes when you go to the municipal, you can't get the drugs. That's that.
So, and then many people are now bringing their children for immunization into clinic. And all the antigen are available, not out of stock. That's the most important, and that's also kudos to national primary health care.
Nigerian government has shown commitment to improving and strengthening the overall health care system, and Saving 1 Million Lives initiative is an elaborate scheme to expand access to essential primary health care services, especially for women and children by 2015. One issue stakeholders are worried about is not the implementation of programs, but the sustainability, just like the Midwife Service Scheme, MSS, Community Health Extension Workers, CHU program, and the HIV/AIDS program.
Any woman coming for antenatal must get HIV and AIDS tests from all primary health care centers. So we're not talking about denying the service. We are talking about not even assessing these services.
Dr. Rilwan Muhammad says the most important thing in the primary health care facility is the manpower to manage. However, the referral system has improved significantly. In Abuja, Aisha Oba Ali, NTA News.
And since the 1st of October 1960, Nigeria has been celebrating her independence, and today, as Nigeria also continues to mark the 54th anniversary as a sovereign nation, but also the 10th month of the nation's journey into the new century, correspondent Ifeanyi Zumba went to town, and this is what she brought back.
A nation where milk and honey flows is undoubtedly richly endowed and blessed with abundant human and material resources. As the nation celebrates 54 years of political independence, Nigerians have continued to applaud the progress made so far in the various spheres of life.
Your cow, you know what to do, where to go, and that kind of thing. And the additional universities have added value. And when you are talking about standard of education, I don't believe that the standard has gone down.
Youth restlessness and restiveness, and then the consequence is the social disruption, and then They,
however, called on Nigerians to forge ahead in unison, stand up for the unity and progress of the nation, and for the political class to brace up to the challenges of nation building and purposeful leadership.
Given the history of where we started, we have done very, very well. And I must say, I'm not a politician, but if the way the present government is going, they are given all the encouragement, have better hopes.
So Alex Ezion, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, says the judiciary and the National Assembly have performed well, adding that there is, however, room for improvement.
Are coming out gradually. Look at the waters are coming out gradually. The light is coming out. Railways are coming out. These are things of, let's be objective.
All that is required, he says, is a harmonious galvanization of the human and material resources to project Nigeria to greater heights. Happy Independence, Nigeria. In Abuja, Abdul Fattah Adediran, NTA News.
That was actually a report from Abdul Fattah Adediran on judiciary and the nation at 54. In another development, engagement of a more intellectual interposition of leadership is observed to be capable of adding value to governance at all levels. Guests on NTA breakfast program Good Morning Nigeria, who made this observation, say there are seeming decline in serious thinking, probably due to the quest for survival. Let's join Timothy Yusuf for more.
Nigeria has many eminent and intellectually gifted citizens, and they can be found in all areas of life and within or across many areas of specialization. Since independence in 1960, Nigeria is not short of intellectuals, and their contributions to nation building in the last 54 years of independence cannot be overemphasized. Guests on Good Morning Nigeria believe that engagements of intellectuals in governance became more prominent from 1999 till date.
Nnamdi Azikiwe, Obafemi Awolowo, they were known by the power of the ideas they expressed about where Nigeria was and how Nigeria would move and towards what it should move. If we take those early pioneers of the intellectual trend in Nigeria, you will see that they did not have to wait to be prodded. They advanced the issues and literally prefigured the future before the future arrived.
The pre-independence intellectuals and their leadership, they tried to do well for the public. Their political arrangements were fairly well focused. As stated for Obafemi Awolowo, Ahmadu Bello, and Nnamdi Azikiwe and Okpara, they did well to try to provide some credible leadership.
And even those we give the mandate to, we should know about their background. I give you a small example. In the United States, when Woodrow Wilson became the president, he was a professor before he came to that position. Today, we are lucky, let's put it that way, that even the president of our country happens to be one of the products from the university system. And I must say that at the age of 54 for Nigeria, I'm one of those that are looking at where we are coming from. I'm not so despondent. I don't feel so terrible about the progress we've made. I believe we are making some steady progress, but there is room for greater improvement. And at the end of the day, the way the intellectuals must go in terms of whether they can get into politics is for those of them that are bold enough to say, yes, these are my ideas, I want to go and test them. But you...
The guests, however, argued that the intrusion of the military into Nigerian politics has brought a drawback to the contribution of these intellectuals, some of which have sought greener pastures outside the country over the years. Looking inwards into the nation's universities and polytechnics, they say, is the way to go. In Abuja, Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the leadership of the Nigerian Army is unrelenting to purge itself of an act of indiscipline capable of distracting her attention from counter-terrorism campaign in the Northeast. This is why the service inaugurated 8-man member of the General Court Martial for the trial of some accused officers and soldiers at the Army Headquarters garrison in Abuja. Correspondent Mohammed Abdul Kadri reports.
While the dust raised over the death sentence passed on 12 soldiers for mutiny is yet to settle, the Nigerian Army is into another court-martial. This time, it has inaugurated an 8-man general court-martial conducted by a judge advocate, Lieutenant Colonel Ukwe.
And that I will duly administer justice. According to the Armed Forces Act.
The president of the General Court Martial, Brigadier General Muhammad Saleh Yusuf, and members are to commence the trial of 15 officers and 82 soldiers. The officers and soldiers are charged for mutiny, assault, housebreaking, absence without leave, and service indiscipline. The president promised that the General Court Martial will be guided by the principle of fair hearing and justice.
We are going to listen cautiously, we are going to answer wisely, we consider soberly, and in deciding, we are going to be very, very impartial.
The lead counsel to the accused soldiers, a senior advocate of Nigeria, Femi Falana, promised to defend the cause of justice at no cost. The president of the General Court Martial promised to conduct and conclude this case without undue delay to prevent the accused from suffering psychological trauma often associated with protracted litigations, as justice delayed is justice denied. From the Army Headquarters Garrison, Abuja, Muhammad Abdul Kadri.
And from Mohammed, we move to Port Harcourt, where police beef up security in preparation for the Eid Kabir celebration, and just as suspects are paraded by the force. Details with Mina in our Port Harcourt Network Center. Good to see you.
Thank you, Femi. Good afternoon and welcome to Port Harcourt. The Bayelsa State Police Command has blocked all security loopholes ahead of the long public holidays for a heat-free Salah celebration. The State Commissioner of Police, Mr. Valentine Ntomchukwu, stated this in an interview with NTA News in Yenagoa. Correspondent Paul Ebel has the details.
Bayelsa State is one of the states with smaller land mass, but greater riverine and coastal areas. Due to the activities of oil thieves, pirates, and sensitive nature of the state, criminal seem to be high. But the Commissioner of Police, Valentine Ntomchukwu, said the command has mapped security network plans to cage criminals both in the riverine and upland, especially during the Salah public holiday.
We are on ground, effectively on ground. You can testify to that since my assumption of duty, security has been beefed up and it is sustainable. It is not a question of during holiday or no holiday, 24 hours. We are on top of it.
The commissioner also stressed the need for the communities and individuals to alert the police on time in case of acts culpable of causing the breach of peace. He further reinstated the importance of community policing and intelligence in combating crime. In Yenagoa, Paul Ebel, NTA News.
In a related development, the efforts of the Cross River State Police Command in crime prevention has continued to yield positive results. The command recently arrested 2 men of the underworld, including a woman who has been terrorizing the society and unleashing mayhem on the citizenry. The report.
Among those arrested are members of a notorious armed robbery gang led by Esau Eko, also known as Ete Calabar. Also, Ide Police Nate is a final year student in the Department of Microbiology and suspected ringleader in the murder of one Dr. Godwin Iwat of the Microbiology Department of the University of Calabar. Men of the command also foiled a kidnap attempt of a student of the University of Calabar, as well as rescued a 3-year-old girl of Ikodayi, Edridam, Bakassi Local Government area from suspects of child theft. Items recovered from the suspects include household furniture, legally made guns, arms, and ammunitions. Addressing the media, the Assistant Commissioner of Police Criminal Investigation Department, Gani Yusalami, said the command has already charged 51 suspects of various crimes, including drug abuse, armed robbery, kidnap, murder, and rape to court.
We arrested them at Eskutan behind Zone 6. We have a joint there, and a dean of it is a bad boss. Give us, at the shortest possible time, give us information. We say that we go out and react positively to whatever information given to the police.
After the fanfare with which Rivers people celebrated Nigeria's 54th independence Wednesday, the city of Port Harcourt bubbled up deep into the night with lovers of the fun side of life. Onengie Fineface checked out some hangouts to fill the pulse of the city on Independence Night.
In Rivers State, a broadcast from the state governor paved way for people to visit and recreate in some event centers around the state. Business owners even attempted to make final sales of independence brands, while some residents shared thoughts on the state of the union. But it was not over yet. The very busy and traffic-filled roads at night signaled potential celebrations and partying for those too busy to do so during the day. After a seemingly impossible attempt to take camera shots at dance nightclubs, our efforts paid off at this center, where a make-do fella kept his audience spellbound by his performance.
We love Nigeria because we have to celebrate Nigeria. Some died, some still alive. We will still alive, we will celebrate Nigeria because my children, I take them out in the morning for them to celebrate their own. Tonight is my own day for me to celebrate my own independence.
Maybe the 54 years commemoration requires a lot of reflections. Whatever the case, these fun lovers believe that celebrations are very much in order.
Happy Independence, Nigeria! God bless Nigeria!
In Port Harcourt on NTA Fineface, NTA News.
And that's our beat from Port Harcourt. It's back to Femi in Abuja.
Thank you, Mina. You're watching Nationwide on the NTA Network service. There will be more reports, but after this time out.
Sharing. Love is caring. Love is selfless. Love lives and let live. As Nigeria celebrates her 54th independence anniversary, let all Nigerians put aside our individual, ethnical, religious, and class differences and choose to live and die by the superior virtue of love. Only then we would have achieved the true essence of life. Let love beautify Nigeria. Happy 54th Independence Anniversary, Nigeria.
This message is brought to you courtesy Transformation Ambassadors of Nigeria. Done for one vision, Nigeria.
There is an Ebola virus epidemic in some West African countries. The Nigerian government wants you to be aware and watch out against the spread of Ebola in your community. Help keep our country safe and watch out for severe cases of fever, headaches, diarrhea, chest and abdominal pain, sore throat, cough, red eyes, and bleeding from the eyes, ears, and nose, especially when these symptoms are found in persons coming into Nigeria from African countries. Protect yourself. Wash your hands regularly with soap and running water, or use a hand sanitizer. Avoid contact with the blood, urine, feces, or saliva of animals like bats, monkeys, gorillas, chimpanzees, or infected persons. The Ebola virus is deadly. Don't catch it. Don't spread it. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information.
Transform the jangling discords of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood.
Change is never easy.
It was not easy for Dr. Martin Luther King when Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew transformed Singapore from third world to first world. It was not easy. They stoned him. It was not easy for Nelson Mandela.
I, Barack Hussein Obama.
It was not easy for Barack Obama. Nothing worthwhile ever is. Dr. Martin Luther King did it. Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew did it. Nelson Mandela did it. Barack Obama did it. Goodluck Jonathan is doing it. He is transforming Nigeria. Mr. President, keep doing it. We who are with you are so many more than those who are against you. A message from protectors of Nigerian posterity.
Has ensured the reconstruction of the Abuja-Lokoja Road and the East-West Road in Port Harcourt.
The standard gauge rail tracks from Abuja to Kaduna and Lagos to Kano indicate that our trains are coming back.
The second Niger Bridge in the southeast and the local Oweto Bridge in the north-central are in progress, thanks to Shopee.
Shopee's mass transit program has made transportation easier for Nigerians.
Shopee has rehabilitated over 1,000 health centers across Nigeria.
Shopee has provided mama kits to pregnant women, and polio is on the verge of eradication.
Shopee has also ensured the provision of social amenities, and through its various training programs for young people, guarantee the future.
The virtue of love. Only then we would have achieved the true essence of life. Let love beautify Nigeria. Happy 54th Independence Anniversary, Nigeria.
This message is brought to you courtesy Transformation Ambassadors of Nigeria. Done for one vision, Nigeria.
You are watching NTA, Nigerian Television Authority. For more information and news updates, visit our website at www.nta.ng, or you can follow us on Twitter at NTA News Now, or you can like us on Facebook at NTA Network News. Stay connected on our YouTube channel at www.youtube.com/NTA News Online. Watch our live stream at www.nta.ng/live. NTA, you can't beat the rich.
You're still on to NTA Nationwide, and the Public Service Institute of Nigeria is collaborating with the Office of the Head of Civil Service of the Federation to provide capacity enhancement for core civil servants from grade level 05 to 15. The administrator of the institute, Dr. Shehu Abubakar Misal, stated this when the head of service, Danladi Kisasi, visited the institute on tour of duty. Dr. Misal identified mandatory programs for over 20 permanent secretaries, as well as training and promotion examination for the EFCC and TED Fund. The head of service, Danladi Kisasi, after inspecting facilities at the institute, advised the administrator to make facilities at the institute revenue generating, especially the 250 rooms hostel when completed.
It takes for us to move bills through the system. It means that we have to work extra hard if at all we're able to get it passed this year or early next year. Following which we'll have to start the move of when the new assembly is sworn in.
The head of service also stressed that the Administrative Staff College of Nigeria will, however, undo leadership training programs critical to national development. Meanwhile, the Nigerian Union of Journalists has commended the transformation agenda of President Goodluck Jonathan, which is touching many lives, including the support for the NUJ housing estate in Abuja. The national president of the NUJ, Mohammed Garuba, on inspection of the housing project, says the first phase will be completed by December 2014. Let's join Emmanuel Aimero for details.
The NUJ housing project, which started about a year ago, is to provide relief to journalists who are confronted with housing challenges.
Our intention is to achieve 290 houses. So it depends on your capacity, it depends on your interest, and it depends on your commitment.
The project, which is mortgage financing, is expected to occupy about 29 hectares of land when fully completed. It is planned to provide accommodation for different categories of persons depending on subscription pattern.
Still, those who don't have the capacity for the 3-bedroom can subscribe to the 2-bedroom or even the 1-bedroom.
Our target is 290 houses, but this first 50 is not even 50 because it's almost 70 already. But 50 is what I will hand over the key to NUJ by first week of December.
I'm shocked at what I've seen here, the quality of the buildings and all that. So I think they should try and sensitize more people so that they can come into the scheme.
The NUJ president, Mohamed Garba, wants members to fully subscribe to the project to enable more units to be constructed as opportunity for subscription is still open. The housing project is located at Kuyami district near Aviation Village. In Abuja, Emmanuel Ayemiro, NTA News.
Senator Dion Ugbesia, representing Edo Central Senatorial District, has expressed unequivocal support and solidarity with the people for their unflinching support and also the endorsement of Senator David Mark for our 5th tenure in the Senate. According to Senator Ugbesia, the endorsement tallies with his position that the nation's democracy will derive from the American model, has no term limit for lawmakers in the parliament and can only be determined by the people who elected them. Senator Ugbesia was full of commendation for the Senate President for his credible, mature, and visionary leadership, which has assisted in no small measure in stabilizing the nation's nascent democracy. Meanwhile, the People's Democratic Party has reaffirmed commitment to internal democracy ahead of the 2015 general elections. The National Secretariat of the PDP has also assured that the internal democracy will cut across the board. Former Defense Minister and Chairman People's Democratic Party, National Integration Committee, North Central Zone, Dr. Haliru Bello Muhammad, gave this assurance in Lokoja during the committee's meeting with PDP stakeholders in Kogi State. Solomon Ayedeyin reports.
The National Integration Committee, North Central Zone of the party, convened the stakeholders meeting in Lokoja to address some pertinent issues. The initiative is to further strengthen the party ahead of 2015 general election.
We would like to know what are the problems facing our party. Whether the problems are from the national headquarters, or from the federal government, or from the Kogi branch of the party, or from the Kogi government.
He also hinted that the state PDP Congress will have to be repeated to be on the same page with INEC and to avoid unnecessary litigations, rancor, and disaffection among members. The state PDP chairman, Hassan Salau, said the problem of PDP in Kogi State is not as bad as being portrayed.
To me, he has done what is expected as a governor because he has reconciled reconciliables.
Suggestions have come out about invitations and visitations, about committees that will articulate these problems and profess solutions to them. And Mr. Chairman, let me assure you that I will set up such a committee.
Other stakeholders who spoke on behalf of the 3 senatorial districts of the state acknowledged that there are problems, but with unity of purpose and understanding, they are surmountable. In Lokoja, I am Solomon Ayedeyin, NTA News.
From Lokoja, we now join Abubakar in our Sokoto Center for how the people are also preparing for the Salah celebration. It's over to you, Abubakar.
Thank you, Femi. Few hours to the commencement of Eid al-Kabir, prices of sacrificial animals have remained relatively stable in Sokoto. Sheikh Muhammad Dati reports that despite availability of the sacrificial animals in the market, sellers are witnessing low patronage. His report.
4 categories of animals are used for the sacrifice, which include camels, bulls, sheep, and goats. A visit to the main Kara markets indicates availability of such animals but the patronage is low. Chairman Ram and goat sellers said the price has changed compared to last year, as a medium ram cost 20 to 25,000 naira as against 30 to 35,000 naira last year, attributing the low patronage to economic hardship facing the people. Buyers interviewed said the price is fair compared to last year, but there is no money to buy the sacrificial animals.
Last year we have money to buy, and then there is some animals, they are very cost.
The story was, however, the same for the cows and bulls, as a medium size costs between 60 to 70,000 naira. Goats and he-goats also have a control price, as a medium goat or he-goat costs 7 to 10,000 naira. NTA News also observed the emergence of temporary selling centers within the state metropolis along Ongorogo and Kopal Taramna area, among others. Sokoto, Show Muhammad Datti, NTA News.
In an effort to ensure that its members celebrate Eid al-Kabir with ease, the All Progressives Congress in Sokoto has distributed rams and cash assistance to 10,000 beneficiaries in the state. This came to light at the distribution of rams and cash to 200 associations in Sokoto metropolis. The report.
According to State Deputy Chairman of the party, Alhaji Usman Suleiman Amadami, APC in the state has realized over 300 million naira as donations from political office holders and other well-wishers of the party in the state. This amount, he said, are being used to purchase rams as well as provide cash assistance to over 10,000 members of the party across the state. Flagging of the distribution of rams and 50,000 naira cash assistance to 200 associations in the metropolis, the Deputy Chairman said the exercise is simultaneously being carried out in all the wards across the state. Under the sharing formula, the Deputy Chairman said some associations received rams while others were given 50,000 naira assistance.
We decided to distribute it to various ESCOs, right from ward, local government, up to state level.
Commenting on the exercise, the State Commissioner for Health, Alhaji Ahmad Aliu, said the gesture is a clear indication of the party's concern to the welfare of its members. He said APC will continue to introduce various programs aimed at improving the living condition of its members. Alhaji Aliu called on party supporters in the state to continue to support the party to succeed in the 2015 general elections. The party secretary, Alhaji Aminu Bello, stressed the need for members to remain peace-loving at all times for the development of the party. Alhaji Aminu called on the beneficiaries of the cash and rams assistance to utilize what was given to them. The spokesperson of the benefiting association thanked the party for the gesture and assured their readiness to support the party.
Sultanate Council Sokoto has reaffirmed its determination to strengthen the existing cordial relationship between Muslims and Christians in the country. Sultan of Sokoto and President General, Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs, Muhammad Saad Abubakar III, stated this while commissioning Holy Family Mother Care Clinic constructed by the Diocese of Sokoto. Bashar Abubakar was there for NTA News.
Well, that's how far we can go with the Sokoto Network Center as the Special Presidential Committee on Distribution of Relief Materials to Victims of Insurgency has visited NYC Orientation Camp and Yelwa Government Girls Secondary School in Maiduguri, the Borno State capital, to present relief materials to internally displaced persons.
The Special Presidential Committee on Distribution of Relief Materials to Victims of Insurgency was constituted primarily to ensure that all relief packages reach internally displaced persons taking refuge across various camps in Maiduguri. Items worth millions of naira were provided at the two camps aimed at ameliorating the untold hardship people were subjected to in the face of insurgency. Members of the Special Presidential Committee did not mince words in reiterating their determination to justify the confidence reposed in them by President Goodluck Jonathan, saying they have not encountered any hitch so far in the course of discharging the responsibility bestowed on them. Receiving the relief materials at the NYC Orientation Camp and Yerwa Government Girls Secondary School for onward distribution to the IDPs, Abba Yerima Bukar and Zannabu Akura Habib commended the committee for living up to expectation. Some of the beneficiaries also applauded members of the Special Presidential Committee for the untiring effort. Similar presentation is expected to be carried out in other internally displaced persons camps in Maiduguri. In Maiduguri, Yagum Subukar, NTA News.
Also, the challenges posed by climate change and the environment, no doubt, call for a concerted effort by our stakeholders. It is to the mitigation problems associated with climate change and other related environmental issues that the Center for Environment Studies is educating students in selected public schools on how to cultivate environment-friendly habits such as planting trees. Correspondent Linda Okorie-Igwe covered the event.
Most climate scientists are of the opinion that global temperatures will continue to rise for decades to come, largely due to greenhouse gases produced by human activities. In order to curtail its effects on the environment, the Center for Environmental Studies took its Going Green and Awareness campaign to government secondary school Zone 3 in the Federal Capital Territory with the aim of raising environment-conscious generation.
To inculcate the habit of trying to be environmental sustainable, how they can be able to be friendly to the environment.
Equipped with these tips on how to mitigate climate change, how best can these students spread the message?
Try as much as possible to let them know the importance of the tree in their society, not only in the school, but their homes.
Hold assemblies every time. We inculcate in them the habit of cleanliness.
The Center for Environmental Studies, however, appealed to other stakeholders in the environment sector to embark on similar campaigns to raise the consciousness of all, as the environment is the people's heritage.
And before we go to sports, let's also let you know that as Nigerians of voting age count down to the 2015 elections, youths who are vying for elective positions from different political parties are closing ranks on how to occupy strategic offices in aftermath of next year's election. The youth aspirants under the auspices of Campaign Nigeria are also appealing to the various political parties to review their requirements to enable the youths participate actively. Over to Mio Gidi.
Nigerian youths constitute over 70% of the nation's population, but the ability of these youth to get access to the political terrain is quite difficult. That is why the youths here are strategizing on how to form a common front to capture major seats in the 2015 elections and even beyond. The high cost of purchasing nomination forms, tribal and religious considerations, and the sit-tight attitude by the elites are some of the major stumbling blocks on the way of the Nigerian youths in accessing the political terrain in Nigeria.
It's not necessarily that the older people, just that a class of people who are patronizing themselves, but young people have limited finances, limited access to these people.
I think they should extend to the youth some of what they have for the women, maybe make the forms free.
Meanwhile, in the spirit of the Nigerian 51st independence celebration, a non-governmental organization, Say Yes to Our Needs, has empowered over 1,000 women selected from all the states of the Federation.
We should not allow the insecurity that is affecting some parts of the country to be the measurement for all those 15 years. It's a challenge. So for me, to enhance our democracy is to stand together as one.
In Abuja, Mie Ogidi, NTA News.
And on Global Tidbits, as millions gather for Hajj, Saudi authorities are watching Ebola and also Lesotho Prime Minister to contest 2015 elections. There's a more on Global Tidbits as we join Ronke Kolawole.
To guide against the threat of Ebola virus disease, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia is screening programs from West Africa, while mobile laboratories have been deployed for proactive testing of any suspected case of the disease and that of Middle East respiratory syndrome. Report from Liberia says the president, Eli Johnson Sirleaf, may slam a court charge against the Liberian Thomas Duncan for refusing to disclose that he had contact with person infected with Ebola before traveling to Texas in September 19. Duncan had earlier helped to transport his Ebola-infected pregnant sister-in-law to a hospital in Monrovia, Liberia's capital. Meanwhile, an American cameraman covering the Ebola outbreak in Liberia for NBC News has tested positive. to the virus. In Lesotho, Prime Minister Thomas Thabane says he will contest next year's early poll postponed due to alleged coup attempt, stressing that he no longer had any issue with the army despite earlier accuse of trying to oust him. For Global Tidbits, Ronke Kolawole, NTA News.
And the sports now. High spirit in camp as Super Falcons prepare for 2014 African Women Championship. Plus, world number 1 Serena Williams pulled out of a second consecutive tournament due to injury. Over to Kene Magbodike for more on Sports Update.
Preparatory to the forthcoming 2014 African Women Championships built for Namibia, October 11 to 25, the Abuja camp of Nigeria Super Falcons has been boosted by the arrival of foreign-based players, some of whom have been talking tough. Coach Edwin Akon is working on all details to ensure that the team secures a record 8th title in the championship's history.
Every country that is not tournament is good. If you're not good, you won't be there. So whoever Nigeria faces, is a good country. We just have to work hard and see how we come out of it.
Nigeria's grip at the summit of African Scrabble may be threatened if the recent performance of the Scrabble players from other African countries at the 8th Godswill Akpabio International Classic in Oyo, Akwa Ibom State is anything to go by. Kenya's Alan Oyende broke into the top 10 of the competition, coming in as number 6, which used to be an exclusive reserve for Nigerians.
This is a wake-up call for our master players to know that as much as they think they know it, others know it also and are working towards, in improving themselves. So they need to work harder.
The Scrabblers now head to South Africa on the 22nd of this month for the African Nations Championship. And there are growing concerns over world number 1 Serena Williams' fitness for the WTA Tour Finals, which start on October 17 as she withdrew from the ongoing China Open ahead of her quarterfinal on Friday because of a left knee injury. It is the second tournament in a row the 33-year-old has pulled out of after she fell ill in her first set at the Wuhan Open in China last week. With Sports Update, Kenayima Bodike, NTA News.
It is your right to challenge anybody suspected to be involved in unwholesome activities around you. Be security conscious, and this message is from the Directorate of State Security. That's NTA Nationwide. We thank you for joining us. My name is Femi Johnson, and let us also remember that more reports will be coming your way at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, and also the network news at 9. Happy Eid al-Kabir celebration in advance. Good afternoon.